We are live on Proline TV talking college basketball. It's March Madness. It's Selection Sunday. It doesn't get any better than this, Mr. Jim Feist. Does it?
Sleep is optional.
Yeah, you look like you could use some.
I definitely could use some. I mean, I was betting. I mean, even before the brackets came out, I was betting what the seeds would be, and I got, I bet $200 to win 14,000. I'm not going to mention where. I didn't win, but it was fun. I had dropped Auburn down to the number 1 seed because they lost 3 of their last 4, and
Yeah.
I boosted Duke up. I had Florida second, Houston third, and Auburn 4th. And then I did another bet at $200 where I moved Auburn to 3rd and Florida 4th. But they didn't, because they put Auburn number 1 as the number one seed. I didn't win. So that's
I tell you the truth. It is surprising that Auburn can lose 3 out of 4. I'm not sure. I'd like to see when the last time an all-around number 1 seed in this tournament has ever come in to the bracket losing 3 out of the last 4. I don't remember such a thing happening.
And they don't get punished for it.
Nope.
And North Carolina, who doesn't even belong to be anywhere near, is in.
Nope. What does that tell you then?
Indiana. Yeah, every bracketologist had Indiana in this field.
What does that tell you? If you're not
in.
Yeah, the North Carolina-Indiana thing makes no sense. And here's the thing. Can you watch the show, the selection show on CBS?
Yeah, I did.
Okay. So what's that guy? Davis? Reese, what's his first name?
Oh, my God.
Yeah, I don't know it either. All right. It's not important. And the reason it's not important is because he's a chicken shit asshole. Because he sat there in front of everybody on national TV and talked about how North Carolina got in and he gave you all the reasons why Indiana should have been ahead of North Carolina. He said, I guess we'll find out when we talk to the committee. The committee comes on and he doesn't ask the question.
Okay.
It is typical. They do it on ESPN as well for football, for college football. When they bring in the selection guy, they kiss their asses all the time. How many times did the person that was asking the question have to be accommodating, give a polite compliment about how tough it is? And you guys do such a great job.
First of all, it's very political, and secondly, these guys are afraid to lose their jobs, and financially, I can understand that part. So, if they can't open their mouth on the air, they should keep their mouth shut. Period.
Yeah, it's terrible. And here's the thing that I've really disliked with the show for many years now, and it's never going to change. But this has been going on now for about 15 years or so. I loved it. In the beginning years, the whole reason that this show made sense and why it was entertaining was because they would put up on the screen in the beginning of the show, bubble team, like 3 bubble teams here and 3 bubble teams there on the screen, and say, well, here's the bubble teams, and we're going to watch their reactions. And you would watch the ones that got in and their excitement. And then you would watch the ones who didn't get in and how down they were. Somewhere along the line, about 15 years ago, someone walked into an office and said, we can't show the losing team anymore. It's not nice. We got to be nice. We can't show any they're just student athletes who are now richer than we are, by the way.
Well, some of them.
Yeah, some of them. So that's the reason why I don't even watch it anymore, except I just, put it on just for these reasons. And if I wasn't like doing a show, I wouldn't even watch it. I would just wait until the show was over, get the bracket, print it. And what they say means nothing anymore.
There's a lot of things wrong with everything, and there's a lot of things right with everything. The problem is we have these participation awards.
Yeah, that too.
If you play on a team, you get a trophy. Well, it used to be if you played on the team and you won, you got a trophy.
Yeah.
That's not the case. This is part of the woke society, I guess. I don't know. I understand building up confidence and everything else, and all that's important. But that's not my job. My job is to pick winners and bet money and win money for my customers and for myself. And I've done it for 6 decades, and that's what I do well. I don't try to psychoanalyze the human race because it's a goddamn mess. It's always been a mess. It always will be a mess. And if you want to change something, just change yourself and make it better one person at a time. I'm not into that because we will never correct everything we get upset with. And to be upset with everything is just a waste of time. These guys are politically motivated. They have jobs. They got families. They get a paycheck. And they don't want to piss off the wrong people that can make a phone call and say, get rid of that guy because he said something I didn't like.
Yeah, sure.
And I understand that. So it's all about survival. First of all, survive and keep moving on. And that's all these people try to do. So I can be upset with them, but I'm not going to be upset with them because it's been going on my whole life. I'm 81 years old. So have I seen this shit before? Yes, I have. I've seen people get screwed. I've seen people that should be in that didn't get in and all this. I mean, this happens all the time. Football, basketball, baseball, and politics and all the other things that go on in the world. You can get upset about everything.
By the way, speak of the consolation prize.
I'm not going to do that.
Speak of the consolation prize. Isn't that exactly what it is? Like it used to be in the old days, you'd have, hey, you know what? We had this nice little tournament called the NIT. And that I'm telling you right now, when I was like, I don't know, 20, 25, I used to love it. Hey, if my team was in it, I'd follow it. I'd really get into it. Now it's like they've got the CIT and this Las Vegas thing. Now this is exactly what you just said. This is the consolation. This is your consolation trophy award for the basketball teams that can't. We're going to give awards for all of these teams, 150 deep, who couldn't get into the big dance.
Well, I'm one guy that likes it. I wish they had 10 postseason tournaments.
Yeah, well, I understand that.
Because it gives me the more opportunity I can have to make bets on a side or a total or a prop or a first half or a first quarter. This is how I'm going to make money. This is what I do. So, it's like, okay, I don't want the stock market to have any more than 5 stocks. Bullshit. I want it to have 50,000 stocks so I can pick the right ones to invest in. That's my agenda.
Sure. Understandable.
I'm not looking for purity. I'm just looking for making money and making my customers money. And that's what we should be doing right now.
Well, we are. Because take a look at this.
I'm going to tell you something. One of the things that you asked me, what's the easiest and what's the toughest? Okay, so I went over this stuff. And I got all
the regions?
The regions, yeah.
Okay.
So there's no easy and those tough ones. You know why? Because we don't know. There's so many teams here. Well, first of all, we heard about the injury for Gilbert for Iowa State. He's not playing. And that's a big one for him because that's a 3 seed that could have been dangerous. But he's like the top 1 or 2 players on their team. He's not going to play at all.
Sure.
So and here's the shocker. Okay, first of all, I personally think Florida and Houston are the 2 teams that are the best 2 teams right now. I agree. That's my belief.
I agree.
I knocked down Duke a little bit because of the injury to the kid. He's a great, great player. Even when he comes back, he may not be 100%. And Auburn losing 3 out of 4 going down the stretch. I don't think they should have been the number 1 seed overall. I don't believe that. And I don't think North Carolina should be in the damn thing, but they are. When you look at the strength of schedule, even though the ACC is not that great, the Mountain West doesn't ever get any credit. And last year they didn't do very well. I'd probably take the points because it's 3.5 North Carolina now. So I'd probably take the points just for the hell of it. I'd probably buy it to 4 and take the 4 because because they're both kind of like they're.
Sure. Yeah. It's like I can see that being close. Yeah. Sure.
It's a consolation prize. So in any case, but when you look at these brackets and when you look at Florida and St. John's in the same, I mean, well, that's a bitch. And then when you look over on the other side, you look at Houston and you got Tennessee in there. Well, Kentucky's going to go out the first. Troy's going to beat Kentucky.
They might.
They're gone.
Forget All right. It. I like that. There you go.
High Point's going to beat Purdue.
I like that one too. There you go.
You might even get McNeese to knock Clemson out. But
no, don't be getting into our Clemson now or my Clemson. Nah, McNeese, I think they might still be a little bit. I mean, they still struggle with Lamar.
Here's a shocker. One of my best plays. This is a shocker to me, and I'm really upset about it. One of my best plays in this whole tournament was Colorado State.
Yeah.
Okay. I cannot believe that they're favored over Memphis.
They're favored?
Yes, you have a 12 seed favored over.
Are you kidding me?
No, I'm serious. I've never seen that.
I didn't even look at the line yet. I can't believe that.
I have never seen this. You got a 12 favorite over a 5.
Wow.
And
that is crazy. Upset.
I was thinking I'm going to get 3 or 4 points.
Right.
Now I'm laying 3 or 4 points.
Now we got to do the money line.
Pretty much.
Because that next round game is going to be tough if they have to play Maryland. Well, they'll be getting points in that one. That's for sure.
I'm going to tell you something. Maryland is a team that could win the whole damn thing. I know that, you got these top teams and you got these top brackets. The SEC is going to fail a lot of people. Believe me. They're going to fail a lot of people.
By the way, and look here, you mentioned Florida and all the teams in this, and I do believe, in my opinion, I think the West is the toughest region. I think the East is the easiest, the one that Duke had. But here's one of those first round matchups that I talked about. You know how we talk, and these are two teams, we don't want to see them playing each other. The matchup between BYU and VCU.
Yeah,
those were two teams that we would have liked to have bet on in individual matchups.
Well, you said that now you actually said that would happen. You got these two. We like to see them both move on, but only one can move on.
And here's another one too that I've made money on both St. Mary's and Vanderbilt, and I wanted to see if I can make money again. And now they're playing each other. Now I will say this though. They did, first of all, as far as teams that got in, we talk about North Carolina, Indiana not getting in. I'm happy that Xavier got in. And I'm also happy that Xavier is playing Texas, because if there's a team that I have no problem betting against, it's Texas. So I do like that. Who do you think has the best chance in the first 4 to be one of those first 4 teams that makes it all the way to the Sweet 16? North Carolina, San Diego State, Texas, or Xavier?
None of the above.
Well, you got to have one team. So let's see. Let's see whether
it's certainly not coming from the first game, so it has to come from NC at Xavier. I mean, it's not going to come from that first game.
Well, again, you've got. Let's see. You have again, North Carolina and San Diego State winner. Who do they play?
Neither one of those conferences are very tough. I mean, North Carolina, Xavier, they're not really strong.
Let's see.
And right now, I mean, you just look at the line. I guess you got to say, well, North Carolina's 3.5 point favorite in the game, so you'd probably have to pick them because the odds makers are the better.
Okay. That's how I'm going to do it. I'm going to pick my Sweet 16 team from the first 4 based on who's favorite.
Well,
that means you don't really like any of those teams. That means
they're all garbage. They're not going to.
Well, that's what people say every year, and every year one of them makes it to the Sweet 16.
It's not going to happen.
Oh, well, it's
not this year.
I'm just telling you, it happens.
It won't happen this year because I'm going to tell you, because of the portal and all the swings and everything, and these teams, there's so much balance. And these first 2 games on Tuesday, they are not quality enough to go beyond the first game. They'll win. One of them has to win on Tuesday. The second game, I guarantee you, they all lose.
Well, all right. I guess we'll see. Again, I don't really think that there's if anything, all of this transfer stuff has not exactly made these teams better.
Well, they're starting to gel now. That's
some teams are. Some teams.
I mean, they've played 30 games.
Yeah. Now some teams are.
Okay, let's talk about let's talk about who will these teams play moving forward.
North Carolina, San Diego State winner. Let's see. They will face Ole Miss.
Okay, I'm gonna take that back.
Let's see. Where is it? Ole Miss.
I think
there it is, right here. This one right here. And then the winner of that might play Iowa State without their top scorer.
Well, yeah, that's true. Okay, here's what we got. Texas, the Big 12 is a much tougher conference.
By the way, keep in mind, Jim, that we're going to be doing a show on Wednesday. Those are your final predictions. These are just instant reactions.
I know, but I'm having fun.
Good. I am too. I'm just letting you know. You don't have to.
All right, here we go. Okay, San Diego State beats North Carolina as a dog, and they move on to the next game
against Ole Miss.
Against Ole Miss, and then they're going to have a bitch of a time against them. But they play here's the thing: when I'm looking to play an underdog that might have a way of disrupting and winning the game straight up. Now, not about just covering.
Sure.
I have to look for somebody that's going to try to slow down a faster team, play decent, very good 3-point defense, and hits a reasonable amount of their 3-point shots. But you can't get too far out of whack with strength of schedule either. You can't have a team. I mean, I don't want St. Francis. Who the hell? I mean, their strength of schedule is terrible.
St. Francis?
Well, they're in this thing.
Yeah, but why are you talking about St. Francis for?
I'm just talking about the idea of strength of schedule coming into the methodology of picking the game. When you took a Texas against Xavier.
Oh, you're talking about, the Alabama State St. Francis game.
I'm talking about these games that you talk about who's going to move on.
Well, I wasn't going to talk about these two. None of these teams are moving on.
Well, I thought that's what you asked me.
No, these 4 teams here are not moving on. It's these 4: San Diego State, North Carolina, or Texas Xavier. One of those 4.
Okay,
we know these 4 teams. They go anywhere.
I'm gonna just go with strength of schedule with Texas, and I'm gonna take San Diego State because they've been there. They were very good. They play a good quality, slow down, tough defense, well coached. I'll take San Diego State and Texas to move on.
Okay, good.
Okay.
So you'll be wrong about Texas, but I think you might be right about San Diego State. Now, but here is
partial to Xavier all year.
no, just in the last month when they got hot. Okay, so 3-point percentage defense, you said, is very, very important. So here it is. So here's Liberty. Let's keep an eye on Liberty. Who are they playing? Liberty's.
They're playing Arizona.
Oregon.
Oregon.
And they're a 12 seed. So Liberty could be a nice team to keep an eye on. Who else is good 3-point defense sleepers? Let's see. VCU, but we know about them.
Well, how about Wofford? How about Wofford?
San Diego State?
Okay, there you go.
San Diego State.
How about Wofford?
Well, if they're not here, I'd have to search for them. So I could be searching forever.
They're going to play Tennessee.
Again, I don't know. They're not here.
Look at the point. Well, they're in the Midwest.
This is only the top teams. So these are Tennessee's the top team.
Well, they're
Michigan State.
They're a 2 seed, and they're going to play Wofford.
Give me another stat that you really think is important.
Strength of schedule.
Oh, they're not going to have that here. Give me a regular in-game stat.
Offensive rebounding.
Okay, offensive rebounding. Here we go.
I know. Yeah. Okay.
All right. Let's look for some sleepers. Let's see. Troy. There's Troy.
So now what you have here in this, let me try to explain what I'm thinking here. They're going to play Kentucky.
Mm-hmm.
Kentucky is very vulnerable.
Yep.
The issue here is the strength of schedule is going to weigh down anything Troy did all year because of the quality of opposition they played.
Mm-hmm.
Now we have to take that into the equation. I don't know how you mathematically equate that out, but that is an issue because when you're talking about getting offensive rebounds, or if they're playing against everybody that's 6'9", and Kentucky's been playing against guys that are all 7 feet, there's a whole big difference there.
Oh, sure, yeah,
of athleticism.
But at least they're up here, which means that
that's good.
Yeah, they're somewhat good at it. But totally understood.
Look at the team right below them, Florida.
Oh yeah, that's a big difference there. Yeah,
that may be the best team in the country, by the way.
There's VCU again. See, VCU's got both the offensive rebounding and the 3-point defense.
I think VCU is going to beat BYU, and that's a shame because I would have loved to seen both of them move
I still like BYU though, but yeah, that's a shame. Who's the winner? Let's see. The winner of that game will face Wisconsin, more than likely. That's a winnable game right there too.
Wisconsin dead legs today. I mean, they couldn't hit a 3. 4 games in 4 days. They just died.
There's Wofford.
There they are.
That's for offensive rebounding. So Wofford is there. Let's see if we see any other sleepers here.
By the way, you want to blow out St. John's is going to blow Omaha off the floor.
Okay, what else? You got any other stats, or those are the 2 big ones?
Well, coaching.
It's not in here. Anything else?
But I mean, you got to look at a coach.
Of course.
Give me a coach that's been to the Big 8, the Final Four. Even against a brand new guy that hasn't ever been here or has been around for a while but never got this level.
Oh, well, how about this? When St. John's wins, they're going to face either John Calipari or Bill Self.
How about the matchup that you have Self against Calipari in a game? How about that? You think they didn't figure that out when they put that bracket up?
Of course they do. They know what they're doing in that respect. Yeah,
of course.
They admit it. I mean, pretty much. I mean, they know what they're doing.
The politics is amazing.
Other than that, let's see. So yeah, do you have? By the way, all 5 SEC bubble teams made it. All 5. I was surprised Georgia made it. Now they got hot at the end of the year.
Georgia started playing well at the end of the year. They did.
Yeah,
yes, they did.
But I didn't think they'd get it because they did lose in the tournament, and I thought that was going to get lost to Texas. I thought that was a bubble game, and it wasn't because they all got in, all of them.
Who are the best teams that Gonzaga played this year?
They played a good schedule. They always play a good schedule. Unlike St. Mary's, even though once again I think St. Mary's can go to the Sweet 16 based on what I saw there.
St. Mary's is really good, but Gonzaga is explosive.
Let's see. Gonzaga has already played. Let's see. They beat Baylor. They beat San Diego State. They beat Indiana. They lost to West Virginia, Kentucky, Connecticut, UCLA. Yeah, that's it. So those are the big teams that they beat and lost to. And, of course, they lost 2 out of 3 to St. Mary's. So, basically, they won some, they lost some.
Yeah.
The toughest team they lost to was probably Kentucky.
Yeah, but Kentucky's not that good. They're okay.
They didn't. And the best team they beat was probably Baylor. And Baylor's not even, where they used to be.
And Baylor fell off as well. Yeah. I mean, they started the year off better. Yeah.
So, yeah. And then again, as far as upsets, we already gave you a couple to keep an eye on. You like High Point and Troy.
Well,
so we'll keep an eye on those 2.
We are talking about some big point spreads. I mean,
what are they, by the way?
Oh, well, I don't know.
Troy's 10.5.
Yep.
And High Point, they're playing.
I mean, you're getting 20 points, I think, with High Point.
Really?
Or more.
Well, that's a hell of an upset then, my man.
Well, I'm talking about covering the spread.
Oh, that's not what. No, this is a bracket.
But that isn't what I said. I did say they'd upset them, but
yes, you did.
Me, I want to cover the spread. Will I have them on the money line? Probably not.
Well, you have to now, though.
I'm being honest.
Well, you have to now. Just put $10 on it. That's like $10 to you is like a penny to me. Let's see. Where's
I'll put $100
Purdue?
on the money line. I will.
It's
I'll
only
put
9.5.
Well, I'll buy it to 10. I'll put the money on it.
All right, some other possible upsets to keep an eye on. My team had to take on San Diego, so I'm not happy about that. Michigan getting San Diego, and Michigan's
San Diego's the style that can drive a team crazy. That style of slowing the ball down, being very deliberate about what you do, playing good defense, going to the boards. I mean, that they are very well coached.
And I think that was another matchup that they knew what they were doing, because Michigan is the exact opposite. Michigan wants to run up and down the court.
That's going to bother Michigan a lot.
And San Diego wants to slow it down.
Much easier to slow a team down than to speed them up.
So that's something there. Also, let's see. With that Gilbert out, I'd keep an eye on Lipscomb against Iowa State. So just keep an eye on that. Definitely Drake and Missouri. What's the line on the Drake Missouri game? Let's see.
Yeah, I wish I had more screens. I have 4 of them, and I still don't know.
Wow, 6.5.
Oh, I got to take Drake, because this is another one of those style games.
Yep.
Where they're gonna play deliberate defense. The only question about Drake is they go into these slumps where they can't make a shot, and that can obviously that can kill you. But eventually, you got to make some points.
And last year they had that DeVries kid. Now here's an interesting thing too. Did you hear what the committee guy says? So the committee guy is talking about West Virginia, and he said, "Well, they lost their top guy, which was DeVries." And we take that into account when you don't have, injuries and such. If I'm West Virginia, if I'm their coach, I am so pissed because they lost DeVries 2 fucking months ago. What the hell does that have anything to do with the last 2 months then? Are you trying to say that if any of these teams lose a star player, forget it. You got no chance of getting if you're on the bubble, you're out. The committee just said it. You can't lose a star player in December or November. You're out. That's just a terrible way to say that. I can understand if the guy was weak.
I agree with you. It's awful. It's awful. It's absolutely awful. But I've been doing this for 6 decades, and every year I'm upset with them. I mean, it's like,
what's the VCU BYU line?
BYU's
2.5.
Yeah, VCU is going to. I think VCU will win that game.
What is the Lipscomb line? 14.5, by the way. So I'm gonna do a little bit more research on Lipscomb to see if I'd go that way. Grand Canyon and Maryland.
Well, Maryland is really a very, very good team.
But that Grand Canyon team,
they're solid.
Capable. Yeah,
they're very solid.
And it's 10.5. It's a lot of points. The winner. Again, as we said, they might have to face Colorado State or Memphis. And look, that is definitely going to be one of the things that I wouldn't be surprised if that becomes a major, major topic of discussion. It should be between now and Wednesday's show regarding the fact that a 12 seed is favored over a 5 seed.
I've never seen it happen. I saw the line, and I called up 3 people that are professional bettors. I said, "Have you ever seen this?" I said, "Am I reading this right?
Yeah.
Is this correct?"
I guess because we talked about it earlier today that that once you start like Colorado State getting on a roll, they've won 10 straight up ATS by 8 or more. What are they going to do? They're going to kill you. The point that Vegas is going to kill you. The whoever makes the line, because he knows that they're going to take Colorado State. So he's trying to do everything in his power to get you not to take Colorado State. And that's not that
well, the bookmakers, the odds makers don't want to get killed. If you put up a Memphis line favored, they gotten absolutely destroyed.
Yeah. So, but then again, if they did put Memphis as a favorite by 2 points in 24 hours, Colorado State would probably be favored anyway.
Well, they would. Yeah. Because it opened lower, and they're still betting the Colorado State. They've been betting on them. Even the line opened lower. It was 1.5 or 2, and then it went up to like 4. And
Let's see. Montana and Wisconsin. What's that line? Montana getting 16.5. Wow. Big Sky. Big Sky doesn't usually do anything come tournament time, though.
Well, Big Sky in the Mountain West, they don't perform.
Akron. That's a really good upset possibility. They're playing Arizona, who had a good run in the tournament.
Well, I'll tell you what,
losing.
I'll give you a winner on that one. Bet the over. Might get close to 200 points.
Okay. Well, that definitely sounds good. Wow, they're getting 13.5.
Yeah, it's going to be an up and down, man. They're going to be running. I mean, somebody might get 100 points in that game.
Yeah, Akron they just did not shoot the ball well at all early in that game. They got in a lot of trouble. They got way behind, and it took a lot of guts to come back in that game. And they chipped and they chipped and they chipped, and then they won the game in the last second.
Well, they're a good team.
Yeah, I think that's it with the ones I was looking at as some of them to keep an eye on.
All right, what do you think about Yale and Texas A&M?
Nah, I mean, who was it? Was that Villanova's old coach, Jay Wright? Is he the one that said he's got Yale over Texas A&M? I'm not buying it. Yale is just not the team they were last year.
Well, I'll tell you, they can shoot though. Holy jeez, they can shoot.
Texas A&M is,
well, Texas A&M will kill them on the boards.
That's an SEC team, and I just, I know Yale pulled it off last year, but they don't have Danny Wolf this year, so that's a big deal. So no, I'm not on Yale. It is 7.5 though. I can see what you're saying if you want to go Yale on the points. Well, it's a possibility.
Yeah, the question is, can they keep them off the boards? That's the killer. If you're going to give up offensive rebounds,
Yale's a good rebounding team.
Yeah, but are they at the level of A&M?
Again, yeah,
very physical team. That's a matchup issue.
Let's see. Before we wrap up here in a couple of minutes, if anybody has any questions that they want us to answer, any teams, opinions, games, let us know. All you have to do is right there on the message board, just send us a question. Let us know what's on your mind. If there's a game, and don't forget to tune in on Wednesday, because actually we're not doing it live, even though we could, but right now it's a 1:00 start. That's when we're recording the show. So it should be available by about 3:00 on Wednesday. Mark Lawrence is going to be here. We're going to have a link in the description for Mark's March Madness tournament newsletter, which is a newsletter you absolutely cannot do without if you are handicapping the entire tournament. And now that I've mentioned Mark, I am going to tell you what Mark told me to tell you guys. And he already has a few stats that you want to be keeping an eye on. This is just a sample of what you're going to get in the March Madness newsletter. Okay. So once again, it's the Playbook March Madness guide, a tournament guide. And he's got coaches NCAA tournament records. You like this, Jim, the big coach guy.
Yes, I do.
John Calipari, 20-3 straight up in the first game. So that's Arkansas going up against who are they going up against again?
Kansas.
And I like Arkansas anyway. Now, when I tell you the truth, I don't trust Kansas. Mark Few. Now, this is something that's not going to be a factor. Actually, who are they playing if they win? Oh, Houston. Well, it will be a factor if they beat Georgia. Sure. Mark Few, 0-9 straight up. 1-8 against the spread versus number 1 seeds.
He won't get by Houston.
That's a bad matchup for Gonzaga.
He's got Georgia, but he won't get by Houston.
Because Houston is just a much better version of St. Mary's. And that's the reason St. Mary's was able to beat Gonzaga twice.
Yes.
Hurley. UConn's Hurley. 12-0. Straight up and against the spread the last 2 tournaments. Different team now.
Well, I'd like to say something about Calipari.
Okay.
All those stats with Calipari was when he was with
not all of them, but all of them.
Well, What did he? Okay,
Who else did he coach before Kentucky?
I don't know that.
I know he went to the NBA because I remember he coached with the Nets, my Nets back in the day. Yeah, who was Calipari coaching for?
It was a long time with Kentucky.
I know. That's why I can't think. It is a long time ago. I have to look that up.
I have to kind of discount that particular stat because he's not with Kentucky. And Kentucky, for years, he had a bunch of one and done players. They were all pros the next year. So it's a whole different world.
Let's see here. I'll get it here. Oh, and the last one has to do with Mr. Pitino. But here I've got his record. Okay. He was the head coach. Oh, Memphis. That's right. Memphis. He was there for a decade at Memphis.
Oh, really? I don't remember that.
Yeah. So, okay. So
what was the record?
Oh, you'd have to ask. What do you mean? His win-loss record?
Well, what did he say about that?
He didn't. He just told me, this is all he's given me. I mean, he's only texting me a couple of things. He's not giving me the whole newsletter deal. All right. And then Pitino,
well, that's
11-1 straight up, 10-2 against the spread in the Sweet 16 round. And that would mean that it would be against, let's see here. They win that first game. Oh, that's the that's right. You got to go all the way to the Sweet 16. Yeah, we got time for that. Just stash that in your memory bank. So Pitino, very good if he gets to the Sweet 16. So there you go. And he will. Because we both like St. John's and we have a lot.
Who do they play the second round against? Kansas or Arkansas, which are both not that great. So
yeah, they're both vulnerable.
He's going to win the first two games for sure.
Yep. And then in the Sweet 16, it looks like he could play. I guess that means he's going to be playing like maybe Missouri, Texas Tech. I think that's what that means here. So I don't know. Anyway, could be Colorado State. Wouldn't that be nice? Colorado State and St. John.
Oh, no.
I'd like to see Colorado State. It would just be great to see the Rams in the Sweet 16. That'd be great.
I mean, it's a shocker that they're favored.
What a story. That's just a hell of a story.
It is. It's amazing. I've
never seen anything like it.
Nobody's ever seen anything like it.
I mean, winning streaks are one thing.
That shows you how bad the committee is, that they would put an underdog at the 12 and I mean,
it is. They should not be a 12 seed. Yeah.
They should let Vegas make these picks.
Yeah.
We put the top 68 teams in by ratings and by health. Of course, you got to take into consideration the health. So, but you got to, I mean, Iowa State would not be a 3 if you knew that their top scorer was out. I mean, obviously. So.
All right. I got a couple of comments. Theo Green. I sprinkled VCU. There it is. You see the comment there, Jim?
Yeah, I do.
I sprinkled VCU to the Final Four. How far do you think those guys can get? And I think Theo's got it. I think he's got it.
Well, if you get to the Final Four, you've already proven that you belong. You could take it all.
So you think they can get to the Final Four? Don't forget, Jim's only future so far, and I'm going to ask him, of course, for more futures on Wednesday. But Jim's only future right now is on VCU. It's the only future. They're 250 to 1.
Let me ask you, if they beat BYU, who do they play?
Wisconsin.
Okay, they can beat them.
Yeah.
But that'll be an up and down game, and Wisconsin will play better because their legs won't be tired after what they did this week.
Then after St. Mary's beats Vanderbilt and Alabama wins, and then St. Mary's beats Alabama. See, I think St. Mary's going to Sweet 16. I think they're going to beat Alabama. But let's just say Alabama gets this far. They're vulnerable against VCU. You know that. Yeah. Alabama's vulnerable against a lot of teams because they can't play defense.
They can hit you with 90, 100 points, but they'll give up 90 or 100.
Yeah. So, I think the only team they're not vulnerable against is Robert Morris. That's it. Any other team Alabama plays after that first round is going to be a team that could beat them. So yeah, so VCU they could get there. The problem is, well, I mean, obviously they're going to have to get to a number 1 seed sooner or later. But you know what? Again, this is important to note. Oh, you are either going to get 1 or 2 1 seeds in the Final Four. It rarely ever happens that 3 1 seeds make it, and it never happens when all 4. So it's usually 1 or 2, meaning when you're looking at your brackets, you're going to have to, and you go into the Final Four, take out 2 number 1s. You got to decide which 2 number 1s you don't want making the Final Four. Is it going to be Auburn, Houston, Duke, or Florida? And I think you and I would probably pick Florida and Houston to make it.
I think Florida. Here's the problem: is Florida going to have to? Well, they're in the West along with St. John's.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
one of them's going to have to go.
That sucks.
Yes,
but that's what I said. They always do this. They always do this to me.
Got to put them somewhere. I mean,
they could have given us another 2 seed.
At least it's not the first round.
I wish it was Alabama. I wish Alabama was the 2 seed in the West. And we know Florida can destroy that team. They just did. Who's the other 2 seed? Tennessee. Yeah, Tennessee too. I wish Tennessee or Alabama were in the West, not St. John's. I would have liked to have seen Florida and St. John's in the Final Four. And what also sucks is that Florida and Houston would have to play each other before they even get to the championship game. So they screwed us there too. Anyway, so what do you think then about, because we were on the VCU deal. So I think they can. I think VCU with Duke there, again, 2 of these 1 seeds got to go. And I think the most vulnerable, in my opinion, are Auburn and Duke.
I totally agree. Auburn and Duke are the 2 number 1s that are most vulnerable. I agree with that.
Yeah. So if you're picking a non-1 seed to make it, and also consider you're going to get, I think it's a double-digit seed. Let me see if I can get exactly what it is. So double-digit seeds have advanced to the Sweet 16 in 37 of 39 years. So, you take a look at some double-digit seeds when you're filling these things out. And let's see, a 7 seed or lower, meaning 7, 8, 9, 10, a 7 seed or lower has reached the Final Four in 10 of the last 11 tournaments, with 13 making it in the last 13 years, including 11 seed North Carolina State last year. So take a look at a 7 seed or lower and decide which 7 seed or lower is going to make it to the Final Four.
I want to ask Theo, if he's still listening, what does he think about the portal and so many good players moving off of the smaller schools, going to the bigger schools because of the portal?
And does he like it or not?
And how will that affect these underdogs that we usually like to play early? Will it should?
Oh yeah, it should make it even more crazy.
Yeah, how does he feel about looking at it that way? Because there is a difference this year with this portal. Not so much the NIL, because we know what that is, but the portal, when these kids are transferring out, leaving the smaller schools, and they're quality athletes that would normally be in a smaller school, but they're not there anymore.
By the way, we had another text message from Ramon Scott Sports. Well, that sounds official.
Memphis.
I guess that's who he likes. He's taking Memphis over Colorado State.
Memphis is a dog to Colorado State, which is shocking, Ramon. I like Colorado State a lot, but I never expected them to be favored in this game. Never. I would never have imagined that.
I wonder, the one thing that we have to keep in mind too is that they've made the run and now there's some time off. They've won the championship in the Mountain West. They got all this, they're all psyched. But now they're going into the tournament and everybody likes them. And they're the favorite against Memphis. Will that be a problem?
Yeah, it's a problem.
Colorado State.
Well, first of all, Memphis comes into the game saying, "Hey, we're playing, Mountain West team that never does any good, and they're favored over us."
San Diego State, they've done well. San Diego State's done well.
Yeah, well, that's kind of
they did well a few years ago.
Yeah, that was a couple of years ago, and they were great. They were very, very, very talented team at that time.
But most of the time, you're right. They do disappoint come tournament time.
Well, last year, a lot of people thought a lot of Mountain West, and they didn't do very well.
Yeah.
And they're going to remember that.
Oh, by the way, Ramon said the reason he mentioned Memphis was because it was he was basically answering the question that we were stumped about.
Okay. Okay. Good.
So
thank you.
It's good to know that we have smart viewers who are smarter than us. Theo Green, here's his answer to your question, I guess.
Okay. I don't think they should allow these kids to transfer the way they do. The coach who recruited leaves the kids transferring after a year. Yeah, there's a lot to be corrected in this. First of all, they shouldn't be transferring. I mean, at nilly-willy, it's crazy. They got to have some rules. There got to be some rules to this. I realize it's new, and they'll make corrections. But the same people that put North Carolina in are the same people that make the so you have to wonder how many years it's going to be before they get smart.
I don't know. How did you like the fact that the dean of those guys is a North Carolina guy, North Carolina commissioner, whatever the hell he is?
Didn't I say something about politics earlier?
Yeah. So, but hey, he wasn't in the room, so I don't know. I wasn't in the room. Don't look at me.
Let me ask you a question. Do you know who's going to be coaching North Carolina in football next year?
Yeah, doesn't everybody?
Yep. So, I mean, you're talking about
you think Bill called somebody?
You're talking about a blue blood school that, you got the Dukes and the North Carolinas, and this is tradition. This is what we live by. I mean, yeah, I can understand you're rewarding them for being who they've been, not who they are.
How do you think that kid from North Carolina feels? The one that almost that screwed that game up.
No, that was pretty bad.
I mean, how he feels like he's got second life now.
Well, yeah, he would have never lived it down.
No, now he's got a chance.
It was like the Chicago Cubs guy that reached over and grabbed the ball.
Bartman.
Then they burned his house down.
Bartman, yeah.
I mean, yeah, there's certain things you can't get away with.
No. Yeah, I remember. Yeah, that was that was a hell of a time. So anyway, there you go. That is it for our live show. Unless anybody else has any other questions.
I mean, the people that are listening, I do want to give them something.
Okay.
I like Drake. I like the Wofford. I got to learn how to say it right. I like that game under.
What's the number?
I don't have the number in front of me.
Oh.
I can't remember them all, and I don't have enough screens.
St. over 5.
St. John's is probably a 30 to 40 point win over this team. They're playing.
Okay. So they're 18.5.
No, that'll be halftime.
Okay.
And then I have to go with UC San Diego. I'm not talking San Diego State. This UC San Diego team is pretty damn good. And I like them. I like VCU. I like Colorado State. I like Colorado State, but I like them as a dog, not as a favorite.
I know.
Now I don't know what the hell to do with that.
Yeah.
The Akron Arizona game, you're gonna go over the total by 20 points.
Okay.
That's so. I mean, the people that are watching, I got to give them some stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what this is for.
Yeah.
And I think whoever wins the Michigan,
even though you tell me this is not a betting show, it is.
I never said that. I said this isn't a betting channel. Okay.
Some of these people want to bet these games, so that's what I like.
By the way, I do think that the winner.
I mean, nobody ever listens to me unless they want to know what I'm betting, because what the hell else do I do?
Well, that's where you come in. Okay. You're the betting guy,
I guess.
So we have.
I will tell you this. First of all, okay, you told me I could mention this live, so I'm
okay.
We do the Dom DeMarco show from Pizzeria Restaurant. Albert Scallion owns it. It's on West Charleston here in Las Vegas. If you ever come to Las Vegas, or if you're here in Las Vegas, make sure I'm not kidding. The food is amazingly good. Albert's a great guy, great host, great staff. We've done 25, 30 shows there this year. We're going to quit on the 9th of April and come back in August with another show. And then maybe next year, as we get more and more followers,
all the way through
all year round, if possible. So that's one thing. Number two is, Greg and I talked about it today. We're going to continue through the summer with me doing a show right from where I'm sitting in my home. And we're going to have guests, and we're going to talk baseball. We're going to talk WNBA, which Greg doesn't want to ever hear anything about that. But it's a good way to make.
I'll just be producing the show.
I only bet on things that make me money, so just don't listen to Greg.
So even if it's lacrosse, you'll bet it if you know you've got an angle on the game.
Listen, and we got a lot of great stuff on Proline TV. Is an amazing channel, and nobody ever pays anything. It's great information, and so going back to, I want to thank Albert and all the staff at the Dom DeMarcos for hosting the show and putting it all together. And we'll be back in the fall, and we're going to try to pick winners. As long as I'm still able, I'm going to keep trying. It's been a good year. We have our days. You get days. Sometimes nothing goes right. Every last second decision is bad, and then you get the other streaks. So it's a long process. It's not what the guy that said I used to play a lot of poker. The guy said, "There's a tough way to make an easy living." How's that?
That works for me.
Okay.
Ramon has known a lot about.
Last thing, I'm not done.
Oh, okay.
If you're not getting the Mark Lawrence newsletters, and I'm talking about all year long, but especially now with this stuff going on, and what he does for the football playoffs and everything else, it's amazing. It's the best stuff out there. Now, Mark and I have been around. We're the same age. We've been around a long time. We've been doing this 6 decades each. I don't know what he does. I don't know where he gets the energy from. Whatever drug he takes, I want it. but Greg says he goes into the dungeon and does this. I want to see this dungeon.
His wife locks him in, won't let him out.
I believe that. I believe it. It's an amazing newsletter. You should get it, honestly.
Yeah. So, but Colleen's, she's got the keys. And if we want to talk to Mark, we got to go through her.
He's locked in.
Yeah, because Mark, we're trying to get Mark on a weekly show with Jim. So you were just saying, you're going to have your own show, and then we're going to try to put you and Mark together for 1 hour a week. But we got to get Mark, we got to get Colleen to open the door, let us in.
Oh, we got to read this. We got to read this. Did you read what Ramon
said?
Longtime fan would make early Proline, watch Proline USA Network. Good, thank you for that. I was on there for 36 years. That was a good run. I'd be here for the Feist lifestyle bit. Okay.
And by the way,
it's been a good life, Ramon, and I hope it's been a good one for you as well. And thank you for your participation with us.
And as wild as it sounds, Ramon, I couldn't believe it myself, but how in the world Jim Feist is not in the Hall of Fame is beyond me. The handicapping Hall of Fame. It doesn't even make any sense.
Is there such a thing as a handicapping Hall of Fame?
Well, I don't know what it's called.
Seriously, is it?
Yeah, we talked about it. Remember, Mark was. Mark got.
You're talking about the Bookmaker Hall of Fame.
Yeah, the Bookmaker. Yeah, sure.
Whatever. Maybe I'm not. I don't know.
Yeah, who are you? You only had a TV show
I don't know
for
who
36
controls it.
years.
Whatever. Maybe
No one had. I don't
maybe
remember
they'll
any
put
of the show on
posthumous-
TV.
What's that word? Posthumously, which means when I'm gone, they'll put me in.
That's exactly when it'll happen. I'll stand up and I'll do the reading for you.
It's
I'll say Jim Feist just wanted to say fuck you for not for not getting him in here while he was still alive. So
I would appreciate that.
Of it.
I'll be looking down.
Yeah. All right. So we'll be back on Wednesday. And it's not just going to be Jim. It is going to be Mark Lawrence and Andy Isco and Tony Mejia, all 5 of us chiming in, talking about the brackets. And we're going to go over all of our predictions, who we have for the championship. We'll have some future plays, rollover plays, all sorts of crazy shit. So that's coming up on Wednesday's championship preview show. And we have links in the description, as I said before, where you can get Mark's newsletter. So check it out. Like I said, if you are a serious bracket guy, and anybody watching this show has to be, whether it's, hey, you like to put the contests on or you're doing it for real, you have to have the newsletter. It's a must, because
I'm going to have a special package up at jimfeist.com, which we still do sell picks. So you can go there and check that out. But between now and Wednesday, if I find anything that should be sent out immediately, I'll do a short. And we'll put it right here on Proline TV, so you know that maybe you should make a move on this before get to Wednesday. Because if I see a game that's 2 and I see it's going to move to 4 or 5, I'm going to put it out now.
Okay.
You can get on there. Keep checking back to Proline TV, because I'll put a short out there. The shorts are under 60 seconds. I have to do that. It has to be under 60. And if the technology, which is not a friend of mine because I screw it up all the time.
Trust me, I know.
Yeah, well, if it wasn't for you, I wouldn't be able to send anything out, because I don't know how to do any of this shit. But I mean, seriously, I got 5 computers here and I can't make any of them work. But but if I see anything, I'll put it out on a short Monday and Tuesday, even before the show on Wednesday.
That sounds like a plan. And you should actually send me the link to Jim, because we have one link in the description, but we should have another link. So you should send me a link so I can put it in the description area of the videos.
I don't know what you mean by that. What
to the website, so exactly anything that to URL of where you want people to go, just like I'm going to be putting the URL in the description area for
jimfeist.com. Is that
anything? Yeah. Because it could actually send them directly to a page on jimfeist.com. Instead of just going to the homepage.
I'll have to talk.
Yeah, find out from.
I have no idea how to do that.
Whoever's running the site, ask them to send me a URL.
I'm gonna come. I'm a waste. I'll ask Mike or Willis to figure out how to do that.
Sounds good. All right, everybody. Appreciate you checking us out here on this live edition of our bracket reaction to the 2025 NCAA tournament, which will begin in a couple of days with the first 4. We won't be on until what's the Tuesday first 4 games? Do we know? We know that already. That is
St. Francis.
That's the San Diego State, North Carolina. Yeah, and as you mentioned, the St. Francis, Alabama State. So again, Jim's already given you his pick in that Tuesday game, in case you are not with us until Wednesday. And that is going to be, you're taking San Diego State in the points.
Correct.
Okay. And then we'll be back on Wednesday early enough so when we do post this show, we will be able to get anybody's take on the Texas Xavier game, including, of course, everybody else that's on the show on Wednesday. So thanks for tuning in. And Jim, appreciate your time as always.
It was fun. And
yes,
thank you guys, everybody.